Welcome back. Today we are going to be installing this windshield on my 2020 Honda CRF250L. Alright, so the basic procedure here is going to be loosening the top triple clamp bolts and then attaching some brackets. These brackets specifically, and then attaching the windshield to that. This is a pretty straightforward job, so let's get to it. So let's open up this package and see what's inside. I have not opened this up yet, obviously. These are actually some pretty heavy-duty brackets. I did not expect them to be this beefy. Those are pretty nice. Looks like some stainless fasteners, which is excellent. These are not stainless. These are called clip nuts. Got some, I'd say, medium to medium soft durometer rubber bushings, and then some hard durometer rubber, maybe a soft plastic washer. I might substitute some of these things for hardware that I have laying around, but we'll see once we get there. Tools, just using my normal motorcycle tool bag. Hopefully I won't have to get too far out of that. So hardware actually looks pretty good. Sort of like what I did with my handguard install video, I'm just going to show you one side and then you can use your imagination for the other side. Let's see, this is not the right tool for the job. Oh, that's tough. All right, I'm going to have to reach for something that's not in my standard tool bag. All right, so I got my 3/8 drive with the 10mm socket on it. Hopefully this gives me enough leverage to get these things broken loose. So the bracket is going to go on like this. Uh-oh. We have a problem. We are interfering with the handguard. Yeah, and there isn't going to be any way around that. Dang it. Let me think for a minute. All right, I apologize for not involving you in the planning process here, but I needed time to think. So I loosened this, I loosened the clamps back here, I loosened this bolt here, and I rotated the whole handguard down so that this part is now roughly flush with this face. So I am now able to fit this bracket on. I'm nervous about these sharp edges here rubbing on my throttle cables, but I can find a way to protect those. So let's mount you back up on the tripod and get some bolts fitted in. All right, now it's good to keep this loose for now and keep the other side loose. That way we have some room to wiggle around once we get the windscreen actually fitted in here. So the next step here, now that I've got all that stuff sorted out, is to put on these clip nuts. So let's see how these holes are going to match up. Looks like the bottom ones are pretty close, but the top ones are way off. So I think I'm going to do the bottom two first, then get one on one side on the top, then one on the other side on the top, and just try and work from there, really. And also put these plastic washers onto each of these M5 nuts, which look like they have a 3 or maybe 4mm head on them. Yeah, that's only a 3mm head. That is not ideal because you can't get a lot of torque on this. But then again, you know, it's plastic and rubber. This is probably plenty. All right, now these Top one's just really, you know, I take that back. I think they'll fit just fine. You just got to get the right angle on them. Well, that's what it looks like. I apologize for any wind noise. It's very, very windy today. I actually think it looks all right. I thought it was going to look a little weird with a windshield on there, but I think the clear is a good choice, and it fits up, I'd say pretty centered. Might be a little bit off to the left, but oh well. It's a dual sport. It doesn't really matter. So speaking of dual sports, adding a windshield kind of makes it edge more closer to an adventure bike, not so much a dual sport. A dual sport really should be able to do really tight trails and road, where an adventure is not quite as tight trails, but still trails and mainly road. Adding a windshield makes this thing, from a technical perspective, worse off-road, and that is because branches and other things are going to hit this and get caught in there, and your helmet's probably going to hit it, because when you're doing tight trails off-road, you have to move your body around a lot, and that means that my head is probably going to be right where the top of that windscreen is at some points, which means you're limited in how technical of trails you can go on. So yeah, but I'm okay with doing this, and if I ever go in some super tight trails and I have the ability to, I can remove it without too much trouble, because the clip nuts make this, it just makes it a breeze. So let's go for a test ride. Once again, my audio in my helmet failed, so we're back here at the voiceover booth. My thoughts and impressions on this windshield are, I'd say, the same as the windshield that's on my CB500. It's not quite tall enough to get the wind over my head, so it just pushes all the air straight into the middle of my face, which really is not that bad on this bike. And keep in mind, this was a very, very windy day, and even going straight into a headwind, I didn't find the wind pressure on my head to be that bad, and it takes all the pressure off my chest. I also think that it looks good on the bike, and it also makes the bike feel more adventure-like, and almost makes it feel like it was the rally version of the CRF. Not that I've ever ridden the rally version, but that's kind of what it feels like with that windshield on it. Another thing I noticed when editing the video is that it actually is very difficult to see what it even looks like. Because it's so clear, it's almost like it's not there, which is, good and bad. It's good because it doesn't distract you from the rest of the looks of the bike, but it's also maybe not so good because then you just don't see that it's even there. I don't think that it will get too much in my way as I lean forward or have to put my weight forward on the bike, but if I was to do any technical trails, yeah, it would probably get in my way. So I might try to tilt it up a little bit. We'll see. So I don't really have anything to say outside that. I think that covers all my initial thoughts on it. Again, this windshield was $100, and it shipped from Istanbul, which I believe is in Turkey, and it got here to Minnesota in under 1 week, which is crazy because I can hardly get my domestic shipping to, be that good. So I'd recommend it if you're looking for one. I think this is probably the best one on the market, at least from the ones that I've seen. So if you're looking for windscreen, check this one out. At least look it up. So until next time, see ya.